Hi guys and welcome to The Outer Worlds. What a fantastic game. I was so excited to see that it's out, and I'm so excited to throw up a tutorial to show you exactly what I'm excited about. So this is mission 1. You've just created your character, you've been shot to the planet's surface. We're going to pop out of this pod, we're going to spot that we've landed upon someone, and then boom, we're away.
Landed good.
I have.
Hawthorne should be close by.
He's very close. He's under my pod.
Boss name?
So the whole reason I'm doing this, doing the walkthrough, is one, if you know me and you know my channel, you know I love doing walkthroughs, but two, and most importantly, this is an easy enough mission. In fact, the game it's not too bad at all in terms of difficulty, but there are a lot of things that are out of your way that you have to look for. For example, this mission has 7 side quests. Not sure if you've done it, did you know there were 7? If not, I'm going to show you where they all are. Some of them have some pretty cool stuff. So from the start, we're just following this waypoint. There's a little marauder here. We can take... He didn't have much on him. And then here, the game's going to teach you stealth. We're going to hide in the grass here and try and avoid those 2 things up on the cliff edge. But we're not going to bother doing that. Instead, just hug the wall. This is nice, fast. We're going to try and move through this tutorial as fast as possible. Meaning I'll always be moving from A to B. I'll never be stopping around the place to look for things, to go looting, because loot is just everywhere. You should be doing that anyway. You don't need to spend any more time watching me doing it. Cool little slowdown mechanic there. You'll be learning all about that shortly if you haven't already. Once we have low health, we can use our medical inhaler. So we see some explosive barrels there to our right, and we kind of have an idea what's going on.
Try the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings.
I'm going to use my medical here, and I'm going to patch him up.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help.
No problem.
Better, thanks to you. I might have bled out on my own. Or worse, had to go begging the boss for some Adrena time. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right?
I love it.
Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters.
You're as good as dead. I love some of these
Shivering,
dialogue choices.
flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hullhead grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh?
I'll be doing a lot of my dialogues. When I level up my character, I'll be leveling up a lot of the conversation choices, so persuade and lie and stuff like that. I highly recommend it, especially getting your persuade up. You're really going to need it.
Saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Spacer's choice.
Yes, nailed it that time.
All right. So, just gonna grab some goodies here, as you do. More goodies and more goodies. Goodies, goodies. I have his gun because he's an idiot. And I don't think there's anything else to loot here. Just kind of equip that as well in case we need it, and let's get out of here.
Damn it, my ears!
Sorry.
Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell?
Yes. All right, we've got that slowdown animation again. It's the tactical time dilation, like that. They fall out. Boom! Hit those things. That one guy is dead. This guy wants to have it out with me, so let's have it out. Grab his saber. Anything down here worth taking? Yeah, anytime you see those mag picks, it's like lock picking, just grab those. Grab everything. Pick up everything. Yes, weight management can be an issue, but in your first mission, not so much. You can break a lot of stuff down, or we can sell it to vending machines, as you will see later. So, no problem there. Now we're going to do a bit of sneaky sneak here. As I said, I'm trying to get through this fast enough. But I'm also building this character to be stealthy. So, just practicing stealth wherever I can. So Marauder 2 on the right is moving right. There's another Marauder up there moving left. We're going to pop this one down. Don't give him an opportunity to scream. We'll take his thingy bob there. Whatever it was, I didn't get a chance to read it. And I'm going to follow this dude down and around. Right, so he's going to continue up around to the left. This guy's going to swing around to my right, so I can just go straight through here. Should be fine. Let him stretch out there. And we've got through that section, and there's the ship. The Unreliable, as it's called. Fantastic name for a ship. We're going to come down here to these guys. There are some Marauders down there.
Talk to the lieutenant.
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Call on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. Really? How is he? Of course I am. I'm a superior officer. Stands to reason, don't it? Just you watch. I'll cross these marauders off with a swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs, son.
Alright, let's use some persuade here.
Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation, you know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
I love it. Absolutely love the dialogue here. Off you go, guys. Make my job just a little easier. That looks good. I'm gonna help. I helped. Alright, anything on this body? Pretty much you should be always checking the bodies, always looting, and while, as I was saying, I am going from A to B, there's so much to be found. It's just, you know, this video could be 4 times longer if I had to, like, include me looting every time, so feel free to explore, and you can just reference this video for everything else.
That this vessel contains no valuable plunder. Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit. Hello. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Alright, we got ourselves a level up.
Console is offline at this time, Captain.
We got ourselves a mission. We got ourselves a level up. I did that twice. So, when we're done, we're going to head outside. We're going to meet up with our buddies, our pals, waiting for us outside who want to slap us
Say,
with a tip.
this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. I'm afraid we gotta dock your pay. Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Alright. So these persuasion and lie challenges are pretty cool. I do suggest you heavily invest in those. Now you can do some exploring here. You don't have to go straight to Edgewater. You could go there, or you could go here, or you could go up there and have a look around. There are creatures in the wild that you could be killing and looting from and getting some XP. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm gonna head straight to town. So, in the game, as I told you, this is the main mission. This is the first mission, although technically there are two. They both run side by side. There's also 7 side quests, and there's two decisions you have to make. And so I'm going to do my best to illustrate the consequences of both decisions, if any. Right now, I'm just going sneaky sneaky. That guy's trying to be all sneaky sneaky over there, but I've spotted him. I'm not having any of that. And this one also. So I've got to be... I've got to be sneakier than the sneaky guys, right? We're going to push on through here. Seem to have gotten away with that. So we'll just keep on pushing on here towards that waypoint. And if we just stick to this road, we're going to come across a character called Silas, I think his name is. And he tends to this here graveyard. And he has a side quest for us.
Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family. Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer? Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see. 4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
And with that, you've just uncovered quest 1 of 7, or I should say side quest 1 of 7. That side quest is called A Small Grave Matter. So it's quite a fun one to take on. It is optional. You don't have to do it, but I recommend you do. And I'm going to put a link to the video on that quest in the top right of your screen now, if you want to take that on. In the meantime, we shall continue with the main quest. So we're going to head into Edgewater, and we're going to make our way to what the marker says is the town leader. Pretty important guy. You really want to have a chat with him first and see if we can't get the piece that we need to repair our ship. So, where's that Sultana choice? Yeah. There's a terminal here if you want to have a read. Nothing too important, but you should be reading these. They're quite entertaining, I must say, for the most part. Everything I've read here is entertaining, and all the dialogue is entertaining. It's a fantastic game. Even the elevator music kicking in here is quite quirky.
The grease monkey. Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Alright, and we've picked up our first companion, so that's kind of handy as well. It's kind of handy to have her along before you take on in any of the side quests anyway, because she typically knows all the people in the town, so that can be beneficial to you. She's going to want to have a quick chat here when we get to the bottom of the elevator.
Hey, mister, can we talk?
Sure we can.
Sorry. sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Well, thank you so much for your opinion. Alright, next we're going to go and make our way to the Vicar in that sub-quest that launched. But before we do, I want to quickly show you something here. Before we head to the Vicar, there is a side quest. The game does not lead you here. So that's where the main boss man is up there. And over here, where that star is there on the door, there's a constable in there and you can do 3 bounties. So upper top right of the screen there if you want to see that play out and get some goodies. Moving on, we're going to make our way over to the Vic. Vicar's quite an interesting character, and if you play your cards right with him, I think, well, I don't think it matters too much, but yes, Vicar will become a companion later in the game. In fact, at the end of this mission. So we're going to go in and talk to the Vicar just now. Hey Vic, what's up, dude?
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. If it were as easy as a few soothing words in the right ears, I'm sure it would have been done already. Consider it a challenge. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
So if you want the Vicar as a companion, check out the quest in the upper top right of the screen now. Highly recommended. Next, we're going to go here. We're going to make our way up. This is the leader of the other faction, the Deserters. And we're going to go chat with her and give her a warning as to what we're up to. Maybe an ultimatum. We'll have to see. I'm going to make my way over there. On foot, of course. You can fast travel in this game. Doing good. I'm going to hang her right here and follow the road. You can fast travel, but like most games, it won't let you fast travel until you've actually been to the location. And I'm trying to avoid, as I've said in the start, I'm trying to avoid kind of too much exploration or going off the beaten path, so I'm just going straight from A to B constantly. Now, as I come up here, there's going to be a character just here outside. Very, very rude. Her name is Grace. Grace has a side quest, by the way. So certainly worth taking it on for the extra XP and whatnot. Check out the link in the top right of the screen for that walkthrough. Now we're going to push in, but before... Yeah, we're not going there yet. Before I go talk to the leader here, we're going to look for a dude called Thomas. So we're going to get a hint here. Oh, that's Thomas. Well, we should go find Thomas. I'm going to go look around from here, but... Thomas has a quest to go find 3 engineering manuals. And when you find them and you bring them all back, you get a nice reward, which is a mod for the armor that you're wearing. And it kind of, I get the impression, you know, if you get struck by a melee attack, it's going to like electrify your opponent. So yes, it's certainly worth taking this side quest on. So check out the top right for Thomas's side quest. In the main quest, we push on, we go through these doors, and let's have a chat.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip him out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
So, quite the dilemma we find ourselves in. Let's head to the geothermal plant, the power plant. We'll make that decision in a while as to where we're going to send the power. First, we need to come in. If you've been keeping up with the side quests, which I highly recommend you do, then you're going to be well outfitted for this mission, and you will have already taken out most of the enemies around here anyway. So let's head inside, like so. There's a vending machine there if you need to sell any items or buy any items. I've never bought anything from a vending machine, but I sure do sell all my excess. I love it. Alright, so as soon as you come in the main door, we're going to head to the right. That's a combat drone. I didn't kill that, but something did. So straight through. and we go to this control panel. And the control panel is more or less going to tell us that we need to open up. So we go to redirect power here now, and it's like, boom. So we need to open up 3 plasma type switch type things, or lava. That's it, lava duct type things to help. Thank you. She's helping me with my narration there. So they're all waypointed anyway. So we're going to just head down this stairs for the first. Turn to the right, and it's just around here on our left. This is the first switch. Pop. So I see on my radar, or I seen some red marks, but they're gone. So we're going to head in here and head down. We're just following the waypoint. Again. Nice and easy enough, especially when it's all been cleared for the most part, because you've been here previously doing quests. I haven't been this far, so this won't be cleared. Now there is a bit of steam here, but you can back up, like so, turn right, and lockpick this door. So, hopefully you have been keeping your lockpick and hacking skills updated, and you've been updating them as you go along. I have that, and my persuasion skills and all that. I haven't really put anything into much else. So that gives us a nice little shortcut we can take. Alright, pop. Let's take this guy out. This is the electric mod I have to take on robots that I got from one of the side quests. This is console number 2. I'm not going to worry too much about the fighting. I'll let my companion handle most of that. And I'm going to go and find this third switch. So in through here, and we're going to go up this ramp. We're going to hang a right. And it looks like I'm going to have to fight this dude. Piece of cake. That was nice and easy. He's got no loot for me, which is a shame. And here's the third one. Now, so that's all 3 lava thingy bobs flowing. So just take out any resistance that comes your way. And there's a nice quick shortcut back. So I'm going to pick these energy cells. I know I'm going to need them. Kill this dude as well, because he is as annoying as the other ones were. Oh, trophy. Short circuit. I think that's kill 50 electronic thingy bobs. Or robot things. So, hit the bar here. It will open the door. This is a nice shortcut back, as I said. And yeah. So, we're up on this platform here. Turn right. And this is where you came in. Main door straight ahead. Left to the console where we're going to redirect the power from.
Once we do this, there's no going back.
Indeed.
Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
So we've been putting off the choice, but now we must make it. Are we going to send the power to the gardens we just visited, that lovely place, or will we send them to, was it River Edgewater? That was it. So I'm going to actually do both. Show you both, and you can make the choice based on how it all turns out. Which one to select first, though? Will we send them to Edgewater or the garden? I'm going to call it the garden. I like it. It looked very gardenous, you know. I think we'll send it to the garden. And let's see how it plays out. If you've made this choice, let's see how it plays out. So, Stranger in a Strange Land, our main quest is updated. And now we need to go and retrieve the power regulator that we need for the ship, right? So we're going to head to Edgewater. Because this is where it should be, right? We've diverted the power away from Edgewater. So they no longer need their thingy bob. What's name I've just forgotten. Regulator, power regulator. I think that was it. So we're going to make our way to the boss man. I'm actually going to pick up the pace here. So there's a group of people here. And, you know, they're a little upset as you would be. Like, what are we supposed to do now?
Desertion is a... Are we getting paid or not? Any loss. I put my whole life in that cannery. You must be very proud.
You must be very proud. I love the dialogue in this game. Let's go find Mr. Thompson, who is aware of our concerns. So he's down over here, it seems. What he's doing is he's going to meet us before we go to grab our power regulator. There he is. Whoops. So he's been waiting.
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Edgewater has suffered a cavalcade of disasters. Plague, marauders, desertion. Then you wandered in town. And I was so damn sure our luck was starting to turn. I never knew how right I was. Just answer one question for me. Why'd you do it? Is that right? I'm dying to hear this. Please, educate me. I see. All right, then. Glad you got that off your chest. Whatever you were hoping to find down here, I advise you to turn around and leave. I have got guards posted with orders to fire on you. Edgewater's dead. Our cannery's dead. Adelaide's deserters are never coming back. Spacer's Choice will shut us down before long. Some of us will die of illness by then. Some will move on. Some will starve. And as for me, I will tender my resignation, whereupon I shall be processed and then duly imprisoned for gross incompetence. Apologies won't give us our lives back, but for what it's worth, I am sorry too.
So I sort of kind of feel bad about the whole thing now. Oh, well done. So yeah, he's put some armed guards there guarding the thing, which means we're going to have to fight because I couldn't work my way around it. So I'm going to have to kill some corporate guards, guys. 3 of them by the looks. Let's cripple. Cripple them all. Cripple them all. Yeah, that's how you do that. Oh, this one's suit is well able to absorb this. I need to switch guns, I think. Oh, I got away with it. Oh, another one. Nicely done, Digi. Let's just swap around. Kinetic, or electric, I guess, in that case. Much better. I'm gonna go and grab our power regulator. Nice. And with the power regulator, we can just make our way... Well, we'll kill everything that's here if we need to. And then we're done. And we make our way back to the Reliable. And what's going to happen is everyone here is going to starve or leave or die. And it wasn't exactly a good decision on the face of it. But I wonder if we did things the other way, would that be any better? So let's instead send the power to Edgewater. And let's see what kind of impact that's going to have on everyone at the garden. I think that's the fairest way to do it. Give you as much information as possible, so when you're making this choice, you know what's involved and what the consequences will actually be. So, I've traveled to the garden now to pick up my regulator. And just like at the other spot, the people are out and they're gathered around singing Kumbaya and trying to figure out just exactly what is going on.
One of us want to go see what happened?
I'm surprised no one has. Just clueless.
Adelaide's okay.
What happened? Sprat fell into a transformer again? I know, I'm trying to think.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead.
We could totally blame him and pull this off. Okay.
I'm
So we're going to head down and talk to her. And she's obviously not going to be too happy about this thing, right? So let's go and let's hear her out.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients. I have got a means to cure the plague, and I will not share that cure until Reed leaves town. Those are my terms. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Alright, that's fair enough. So if you followed those dialogue choices, we have 2 options here. We can go out and try and talk these people into leaving, and we can leave her behind, the leader, or we can head back down here to Edgewater and try to talk him out of his job instead. I say him and her because I'm crap with their names. Yes, so he, the leader, is up there. So we're going to make our way up and we're going to try and talk him out of leaving the town. If he did, and everyone else came back, then that seems like the better outcome to the alternate, which was everyone here more or less starves, dies, or moves on, right? And there's the elevator music again. So let's see if he's open to my line of questioning.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town. I have been holding this town together with both hands. You can't just expect me to leave. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic. You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? And when you say special fertilizer, you mean what exactly? Adelaide has been using dead bodies in her fertilizer? That's... come to think of it, that's a stroke of brilliance. What a remarkably efficient solution. Recycling Spacer's Choice property long after its date of expiration. I was wondering about those missing bodies in Silas's cemetery. So Adelaide wants me gone. Trade my life for the life of the town. You understand what she's doing. If I leave town, I'm as good as dead. If I stay, Edgewater will die of attrition. Adelaide has discovered some secret cure for the plague, and she is holding my town ransom. If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement. I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend a crop. She's what this town needs. I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
Jesus, you really gotta feel bad for this guy no matter what option we take. Alright, making our way back to Adelaide. Was that her name? Yeah. We'll give her the good news. She might give us the regulator, or let me pick it up.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
And boom, there we go, just like that. we've solved it. There's the power regulator thingy, which we can now bring back to the ship, which is the unreliable, I believe. Of both options, I quite like this one better. It only hurts one person. At the same time, like, he's an evil son of a bitch. But I kind of felt bad for him there at the end.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
I think welcome aboard. That should be the second companion. You should already have the Vicar if you played your card right.
I mean,
cards, blah,
yes.
and did that side quest.
You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
She's gonna be fun. So, onto the ship we go. And there's the Vicar, because I did complete the side quest.
Well,
I completed
I certainly am
all
looking
the side
forward to
quests.
flying on a ship named the Unreliable.
Who could blame you?
I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Go for it, Vic. Now, we're going to head, not that way, we're going to head this way. To the AI. Oh, we can lockpick here if you want. Light assault rifle, I already have one. Modded with that electric thingy bob. That was quite nice.
Captain,
Hello.
I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community.
Why, thank you.
What can Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Of course.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
So, up the ladder we go. Kind of pushing to the end of this mission now, as you can no doubt tell. We pretty much just need to install this power regulator thingamabob, and we'll get full power to the ship. And we can take off, thus completing the quest and moving on to the next one. Oh, and look, ticket to anywhere trophy unlocked, or achievement if you're on the PlayStation, and I don't know if anything unlocks if you're on the PC. Do let me know, I'm curious.
Good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that.
Someone
He's
has
just
a
interested in
boyfriend.
fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda. I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst.
Well, we'll leave that conversation there for now, but I'm sure in time we will drag more of that big romantic story obviously going on between herself and Thomas. Over here is Vic. Vic, of course, is too busy checking his nails and doesn't want to chat. Vic will no doubt be a hoot on this adventure. Alright, and now we talk to the AI, tell the AI we want to take off, so the AI will take off. Thank you, Ada. And we're going to head off into orbit, and then in orbit we can start the next mission and explore the ship and do lots of other cool stuff. So, I did what I said I would do. Main mission has been covered, all side quests have been covered for the mission. Hopefully you found this video some bit useful. If you liked the video, hit that like button and like the video. If you're not already subscribed, consider a subscription. And until next time, take it easy. All the best.